Morning. Okay, welcome to Strengthening Student Support Services for the Online Learner. And we welcome you. I know it's supposed to start at 10:15, but these sessions move very, very quickly. So I just wanted to make sure that I introduce the speakers so that they can have as much time as they possibly can. All right, our first speaker is Dr. Joseph Lathan, who's the Assistant Director. All of our colleagues come from Borough Manhattan Community College, and strangely enough, next week will be at BMCC for the QDQ conference.
There you go.
Okay, Mr. Alex Pereira, who's the coordinator for the e-learning center at BMCC, and Mr. Brian Neiman who's also a coordinator at BMCC. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you. Greetings, everyone.
Hi.
You guys look so excited. Well, we're glad to be here. Thank you for this invite once again. Last year we came and we shared with you our student e-learning tutorial. But this year we want to share with you our growth at BMCC as far as our online division, which is definitely growing leaps and bounds, and also share with you how we support that growth in the students. So one of the things that we're happy to share is that, we are, every semester, we develop new courses and we continue to add new sections. Currently, we are roughly around 300 courses that we have. And roughly about, if you would break it down, roughly about 250 unique courses, because we have those that have multiple sections. And we also run roughly about 300 sections of e-learning courses every term. So it really is growing. Majority of those courses are fully online, and hybrid is close second. We roughly have about 5,000 students that we're servicing. And at BMCC, we have one of the largest enrollments of 27,000. So we are really servicing a lot, but there is a lot more to be serviced with such a large community. So our goal, and our president, Anthony Perez, he set an institutional goal of 25% of all classes that are offered at BMCC to become either online or hybrid. So that's a pretty big, aggressive goal, and we know that it takes some time to get there, but we want to make sure that we support that growth along as we continue to grow and support our students. And currently, as a staff, we do a lot with a little. We have an interim director, I'm the associate director, and 2 student support coordinators, and 1 course developer. So with that many courses, we're servicing over 100 faculty, over 5,000 students. We really do a lot.
In fact, we shouldn't even be here right now. half the staff is here.
Exactly. Next slide. So, in order to do that, we like to ask 3 questions that every student that enrolls in our course. We've had a pretty good historical insight on how our students think. And we get some amazing questions. So, we boiled it down to 3. When a student registers for a course, we want to know, to make sure they know what they need for an online course. And as simple as it sounds, you'd be surprised how many sign up for an online course and you don't have a computer or access to a computer or the means. And the next question is, do they know what is expected of them in an online course? We also have people who sign up for a hybrid course and they fail to forget that they have to go to class. They just take the online portion. So getting that message out is very, very important. And the last question, do they know that they signed up for an online course? So these are the questions that we explore. These are the things that we try to curtail to strengthen the student support services. Now, at this time, I'm going to give away to Alex. Brian. And he's going to take it from here. Thank you.
So some of the things that we do when students sign up for an online course, whether it's hybrid, online, fully online, is that we have an early alert system. One of the strategies is email students when they register. No matter when they register, we pull a list from the BMCC sort of all contact list of every student that has signed up for classes. We then categorize by what student has what type of course, pull their primary email, and start doing email blasts. We do the same thing when the semester starts. And we do it for the first 3 weeks of the semester. So typically, by that first week, we have 62% of students signing into their Blackboard course. That first week, once we contact them, goes up to about 9% of people contact them. That 10% for the next 2 weeks of those 3 weeks, some of them drop out, some of them have a good WN, and some of them just don't ever respond. But that jump from 62 to 90 is a great indicator that having this early alert system and constantly blasting them with emails and trying to contact them results in them logging into their Blackboard course. The other thing we did this year to really increase our presence and to really increase our student support services is we did an information campaign. So we worked with public affairs and we went to our 3 different buildings, Murray, Fitterman, and the main building at Chambers Street. And we created posters around campus, we created digital screen ads that can go up on all the TVs throughout campus, and we had different banners showcased on the BCC website that would span across and have students, once they see it, they know, log into Blackboard, check your online class, go to CUNY first to see what class you actually have, and then contact us for support.
Yeah, and on the poster, we tried to put in like some basic information of like, hey, if you're in an online course, log into Blackboard. That seems to take care of a lot of students, but a lot of students, there's like, they log into they register for an online course, and they just kind of expect, a lot of them expect somebody to call them, they're kind of like, nobody ever contacted me. Well, we emailed you. Well, my email's not working. So we just figured, since a lot of online students are in campus, just kind of put posters up and see if we can get some more visibility.
And that led us to actually also heavily communicating with all the different student support departments. So going to advisors, student ambassadors, student affairs, and just really saying, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what we're trying to push out to all the students. Whether they're enrolled in an online class or not, they're going to use Blackboard. So let's try to work with you and get them using Blackboard now, so if they want to take an online class, they know what's going on. And so combined with this and our early alert system, which we've always had for the past 3 or 4 years, this has really greatly increased our presence on campus, and it's helped us with our small staff to alleviate some of the issues of trying to reach out constantly to get the students to get it done.
And then, Brian, if I could just add,
Yeah, of course.
the ideal is to create a community, and that's exactly our goal at BMCC with having the support of the president. So the idea of working with all the departments, you can't just operate from the department itself. You have to create a community. So that's the goal of all the advertisement, information campaign, and working with the departments. That way everyone takes part, and the student has more success at succeeding.
Mm-hmm. And we're in a windowless office on the 5th floor that nobody knows about, our department. And I think that one of the biggest things we learned and we didn't realize is that there's a, accidental misinformation campaign, by other departments sometimes, They don't know exactly what, they'll tell students stuff that was true maybe 10 years ago about online courses. So you kind of need to meet, we decided what departments meet with students or have students and tell them stuff. Just as simple as that. And okay, so student ambassadors, they're all around campus and students come up to them first few weeks of the semester and ask them questions. And sometimes it's where's the bathroom? But sometimes it's well, what do you know about online courses? So we just ask them, what do you guys know about online courses? And they'll be well, I heard that you're not allowed to take one your first semester. And then it's not true.
So it's retraining the support services so we can all build that community together.
Yeah. And it's almost you kind of need to do it regularly because oddly, we also forget how things change because there was a time where you could only take classes if you had a 2.0 GPA, and that's gone. There was times where you could only take one as a freshman, that's gone. And to us, it just kind of feels natural, but you kind of need to keep re-meeting with these departments, reintroducing yourself. Hey, we're, e-learning, we're still on the 5th floor, and here's some new information about online courses and Blackboard, and they go, what's an online course? And they're oh, this is why we're doing this. Let's see. So one of the things we do also is we try to meet with our professors, and just kind of like keep in touch and learn what's, what they're thinking and what are some different patterns that they're seeing. This semester we did something called the e-learning student success task force. We met with some professors who teach online classes that have a lot of experience, and some who, this is their first semester, or and we just kind of asked them like, what issues are you facing and what can we change? And also like tell us some tips that we can pass along to other professors. And the biggest thing was we need to get these students logged in the first 3 weeks of the semester. All the professors told us that like if students regularly log in, not even just once, and that's what we thought actually before. We thought if we get them logged in once, they'll be fine. But actually what we found out is that a lot of students will log in once, we'll check the course, and we'll see, oh, they're fine. And then they just kind of forget. So some professors are saying like if we could somehow remind them to log into the course regularly the first few weeks, they will build a habit. They'll see what times they have available between their other classes, and they'll start they'll just keep doing it throughout the rest of the semester. Another professor told us after the midterms, when all their other classes start to build up work, they start to fall behind again. So we decided, okay, well, let's just keep up posters around campus. Because we were thinking, okay, we'll only put up posters and say, log in for your courses the first few weeks and then take them down, and then we'll just focus on the next semester. But we forget that students e-learning courses around near the end of their online course, even though they're regularly logging in, they'll start to fall behind in work, and then they maybe even like start to put it off. So we again we need to remind them, hey, log into your online course, continue doing work, you're almost there, hang there, kitty. And also, I think another thing that we've been realizing this last year or so is that the e-learning center, it can't just be a place where we train people and they leave and they've graduated from the e-learning center and we never see them again. If we could somehow build a community, and it's sometimes hard to get professors in the room, but build a community so that they can share ideas, share tips, and know that we're all kind of trying to like learn together. Every time we kind of have these meetings, everybody learns a lot, and everybody's like, oh, you have the same problem, So e-learning centers try to become more of a place where faculty can meet and kind of share tips, and also learn what can and can't be done. Because I think that sometimes dealing with CUNY First, there's a lot of things we wish CUNY First could do, and that different faculty members are like, well, the e-learning center doesn't put that up because of whatever reason, and then it's good for us to explain, oh yeah, we wish we could do that too. It's just that these are things that the CUNY First system, which for whatever reason just can't do. Oh yeah, please. So the things we learned recently, as we talked about, is that in the first few weeks, you kind of just need to plaster, again, we made posters and then, we're just like, oh, you know what, like, we should make these bigger and we should have more. So we put posters around campus and we made like a little craft, handout box that we put under the posters with like information on how to log into online courses. Again, a lot of students who take online classes, they're also taking in-person classes, so they're walking around campus. Just, hit them with it. I think we're going to probably add a bunch more posters next semester. We worked with student ambassadors, again, because we were told there's not much visibility and there's not much information from other departments. So what we do is we go around to this little group called student ambassadors. They kind of sit around the first 2 weeks of the semester, and anybody can come up to them and ask a question. And usually, again, it's just about location or about like where to register, blah, blah, blah. But there are some students who are like, I'm taking an online course and I don't know how that works. And typically it was like, okay, go to the main building, 5th floor, the e-learning center, this little office, and ask them. And we decided that probably the students who get sent to us, probably half of them just give up on the way there. So decided, well, if we can get these guys who are meeting with the students to just give them the piece of paper with the information here, just log into your Blackboard. You don't have to go all the way to the e-learning center to get your login or to get information.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. It's because there's the 3 different main buildings, is that you'll have a student who's in Fitterman. They're not going to come to our office. They might call, they might email, they'll get a response, but sometimes students will just give up. I mean, some of us will just try to figure it out on our own and not really engage. So having that information everywhere, it takes a lot of the work out of it for students. Like, okay, it's right here. Here's all the information, and there's contact numbers, our office hours, our names, everything. So having that leeway is really helpful.
And yeah, and oddly, even though we're like an online, we have to go a little old school with handouts, you know, and those disappear fast, you know, because I don't know, we thought they'll just go onto the website and they'll be fine, but like no, we just gotta flood them with handouts, and they take them. The students take them, and like they keep them. Constantly students, and Brian like designed these. I see students always like they'll open their notebook and Brian's handout is in there, you know, and like they're just like, oh yeah, I use this to log into Blackboard, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I guess it's still we're not really fully in that digital age. Like students still need those instructions where they can write down their username and password on a piece of paper that's clear and clean as well. And then also the other one was, you know, back in the day, we didn't let freshmen take more than one class. Now there's no longer, anybody can take as many classes as they want, no matter what GPA, as long as the class is there. And you know, we were just reminded, you know, again, like even though we took that down, freshmen need a lot of attention. So we met with, or we tried to meet with people who like ASAP or first year experience, and we tell them like, okay, this is how online classes work. Here are some handouts. Tell your freshmen, you know, about this, about our e-learning tutorial, and you know, we've seen it work. I would say like our non-login rate has gone down really.
And it was one of the things we feared when we dropped it to the GPA 2.0 or higher for students, that we would get less of quality students, I guess, entering online classes, because you can sort of hide behind the screen and not really interact, but that's not how it works. Because of all of the campaigns that we pushed, it helped us reach a larger span, and that login rate drops.
And I think it's important to mention, you know, with the surveys and different things which will come up, that have been mentioned, we found out that the reason why students do not succeed in a course is not because of their GPA. There really is not a connection. It's just like the regular in class. It's the challenges of children working and class availability. So the GPA and studies are still being done, but that was not the sole driver of whether a student succeeded in an online course or not, which was previously thought was the case.
Yeah. No, and as Joseph said, you know, basically, if you want to support students, you know, firstly you have to survey them. And I don't know, we kind of like developed this thing. Students come to us, we rarely meet them. We just ask, you know, have them tell us what they're seeing. Like, you know, we never like, did you read the Blackboard tutorial? I mean, then they're like, yes. You know, just say like, hi, how are you? Like, I want to take an online class. Okay, well, what have you heard about online classes? Like, nothing. And then we're like, okay, well, you know what? We need to take more initiative then. You know, we need to like put more information out there. And you know, that's helped. And then finally, serving faculty, which was basically, you know, just re-meeting with them, you know, having them come back, seeing if they want to, you know, redesign their course, you know, and finally just making sure, again, as Joseph said, building a community so that we kind of all feel like we're in this together. Sometimes, you know, at different schools, every department can feel like, okay, we're our own little city-state. But yeah, just making sure that and if they need information, send them over to us. Like that's kind of like a little older school. We don't mind that anymore. It's kind of like, here's some handouts, here's some information. Somebody asks you about it. Here's some stuff. If they need more information, they can come to us. But most students are just kind of like, I want to take an online course. What do I log into? Well, just log into Blackboard. That's fine. That's it. If anybody has any questions about, please go ahead.
So I'm interested in the early alerts, specifically the email. Which emails do you use?
Yeah.
Are you sending them to everybody repeatedly? So you said when they first register, the does that mean you're checking weekly to see who's new, or you just send it to everybody who's registered for all the online classes?
Yeah, so the base of the list just tells us, you know, everybody who's ever logged in the day they logged the, I'm sorry, everybody's ever registered the day they registered. And if they drop, they're off the list. So I try to email all the students who registered
Prior to class start.
prior to class start, the primary email. So on CUNY First, which is like, it could be their Gmail or whatever, their preferred email, whatever you call it. I email that, and then before class starts, go ahead.
But you're only emailing each student once before classes start.
I would say twice, because I email them, like, try to, like, the week they register, and then before the semester starts, this is something I started doing recently, I email them to their preferred email, like, the week before, like, hey, remember that online class you registered for, starting this week? And then me and Brian go through each class, see who has not logged in, and email those students, telling them, and of course, this is in addition to their professor email as well.